Dream Book TCG Kickstarter is going live today. I'll put the link to this page down in the description below. So I thought it'd be appropriate to go ahead and open up our last major product, the Ancient Mystic booster box. Now this was a product they just did straight from their website. There are 500 of these total. Bill commented recently on Instagram that there are actually under 200 of these remaining. Now this is a great product. I'm going to open it up today. This is a 36 booster pack product. And I'm going to kind of blaze through this one because I have another Ancient Mystic booster box on my channel already. You can go ahead and check that one out if you want kind of a slower take. Here's our box topper. Check that out. Summoner of Snakes. Beautiful. These only 500 booster boxes, so all of this stuff, the box toppers, I think there's like 10 of these, and there's 50 of each of them. I think that's how that works. The top card is like 1 per 2 boxes, so it's possible I think you cannot get that rarity in a box, but you have a good chance. If you open 2, you're likely to get 1. I believe how that works. So we are going to go really fast through these. Again, if you want to see some of the commons and uncommons more, go check out my other Ancient Mystic booster box opening, and you can kind of see a slower go through those and see some of the commons and uncommons again. The art, I'll still show them here, but they're just going to be a little bit quicker. So there's our first hit. Man, already, look at that. What is that? Don't tell me that's the biggest hit of the box already. Daughter of Moonlight. That is beautiful. So I was in the middle of the pack too. Look at that. That's got to be something good. I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly how the rarities work, but I don't know if this is like the top one or just kind of up there in terms of the rarity tier. But that is beautiful. Look at the hollow on that. So the border completely hollow all through the emblems here in the background. That looks fantastic. So we'll see if we can beat that one already because that looks pretty good. I don't know. Look at that. That's cool. That's got kind of a more like anime or manga vibe to it. So that was interesting. That was in the middle of the pack. So I couldn't remember if these were in the very end of the pack or, how the rarity slots work in the booster pack. I'm not kind of like an expert on pull rates and, what slot is, what rarity is in each booster pack. But that's a beautiful one right there too. I've pulled out before, White Stalker. And you can see here, so this is like the lowest kind of rare you can get is if it's not hollow, but they have the embossed lettering up here. It still looks really nice though. We'll make another pile for that. So that'll be and then we have the remainder of the pack behind that. Mystic Grismo. I saw KFC Beats pull that card a couple times. That's a cool card. We're just going to put all the other cards that are not our hits just in one big pile here. Commons and uncommons. Put them together. But yeah, I'm really excited for the new Kickstarter project that is launching today. In fact, this video will be out a little bit before that project goes live. So, oh man, we got another hit there. Okay, so that must not have been like a 1 per 2 booster box hit because we got another one just like that Daughter of Moonlight. Look at that Dundledane. That is absolutely amazing. They killed it with the hollow on these cards. Look how good that looks. Man, you can hardly even see the subject there. There's so much hollow, at least on the camera anyways. You can see it in person, but it looks really fantastic. Man, really beautiful hollow designs, hollow patterns. I don't even want to put those cards on top of each other because they just look so good. But yeah, so Crystal Islands is the name of the next set now that they're doing on Kickstarter. They've done a Kickstarter project before. They did that for, Jurassic Journeys was their first expansion. They had like a Kickstarter base set. They had Jurassic Journeys. They did that in the same Kickstarter. And then they did Ancient Mystic with no Kickstarter. And there's our hollow there. Look, that's a regular hollow. So that's without the hollow border, just hollow on the regular hollow there. Black Widow Dragoon. That looks really cool. Man, that's hard to pick up on camera because it's such a dark card. A lot of dark colors there. They did have some other products before that big Kickstarter set, but that Kickstarter was really like the first premiere set that they did because the things before that were like alpha and beta. So you can almost beta is actually you can play beta cards in Dream Book. We got Clover Knight there for our rare, but you can't play the alpha cards because some of the text I think on those changed. I forget what the actual deal was with that. But the beta cards are legit. You can play those with other sets. So they had that Kickstarter product. They had Jurassic Journeys. They did Ancient Mystic, and now we've got Crystal Islands premiering today. Look at that. We got Bianca. Reminds me of that White Stalker card. That's also by the same artist, Cal Wakers. And they are doing a second product with this as well. They're doing a legacy product. You know, I've mentioned on the channel before when I've talked about that. You know, a lot of people are doing the legacy products now. You had MTG 30th. I think Pokemon 151 is kind of like that, kind of like a revisit. MetaZoo's doing a legacy set, and that's a fun thing. I think that's a cool thing for TCGs to be doing. You got a core TCG. They're rare. They're a Cotton Candy Vixen. You got a core TCG doing their revival set. Forget when that's going live. We got Trials of the Kythia, I think, is next, and then Eternal Echoes is their legacy set, and that's coming out pretty soon. So a lot of really exciting things happening in the TCG space, and I'm anxious to see what this Crystal Islands is going to be like with the rest of the cards. They've done a few spoilers that look just amazing over on their Instagram. And you want to go check out their Instagram because they do a lot of spoilers and information and things that you don't want to miss. So if you follow on my Instagram, on their Instagram, that's kind of the main place to be following Dreambook. Look at that. We got another really nice Desolate Shores. That is beautiful. Look at that. That's an art crypt right there. That's awesome. You got like a sunken ship in the background there with that moon. We got a little crack in there. That's very, very kind of grim, very dark. I love it. I don't even want to stack these rare cards, these hollow rare cards on top of each other. They just look so good. But I've been following Dreambook for a while. I got involved with their Kickstarter, first Kickstarter project, and it was successfully funded. They did produce product. You know, sometimes there's a worry with Kickstarter. You know, we've had some shenanigans with, it looks like, you know, from what I've seen on YouTube, like money mismanagement or people didn't deliver product. You know, you have the rug pull that can happen with Kickstarter projects, but Dreambook has always delivered. You know, they produced their Kickstarter products that they raised, and then they did Ancient Mystic. They took pre-orders on that. I remember waiting a while for that, and they delivered, and I'm opening it here today, and you know, the product looks really good. Some things I like about Dreambook. Look at that Gin of Harmony. Beautiful hollow there. So I'm going to have to create a pile for just these regular hollows, I think. So some of the things you can already see, one of the biggest strengths for Dreambook, I think, is the art. I mean, Philip Siegel, I think, has kind of maybe cemented the art style that they use. I love his art style. He's an artist. He's the creator of the game. He's an artist of these cards, part of the art team as well. Ace of Clover is beautiful. Look at that. We got another one of those full border hollows. And they just have a really nice aesthetic to it. It's kind of like a storybook, illustrated, kind of watercolor style. I'm not an artist myself, so I'm not, you know, sometimes I don't think I do it justice trying to explain like what their art style actually is. But it's, you know, you can tell it's Dreambook. When you see a Dreambook art, you know it's a Dreambook card. We got Fairflower Azalea there. That's our, like, you could call it like the reverse hollow where they just have the lettering embossed at the top there. But, you know, it looks really good, and they're also kind of changing up the variety a little bit. So they've got, for example, in Crystal Islands, they're going to have this Cosmic Metal is a new artist on the team and does a very anime style that's very different from the rest of the Dreambook cards, the art, but I think it goes together really well. Eclipse, I haven't seen that in full hollow. That's why I've seen that one, I think, in the non-hollow. That looks really nice with the hollow there, very selective hollow. That's a Philip Siegel work there. And, you know, all the artists in Dreambook have their own very distinctive styles, but they all fit together really well. It's a cool, eclectic mix of art. And it goes well with the concept of Dreambook because what it is, you know, there's like these different planes of different dream worlds. Like you've got the Ancient Mystic, it's like its own kind of like galaxy in the Dreambook universe. And now Crystal Islands is coming out. That's going to be its own sort of, you know, hub world, its own galaxy in the Dreambook world. So they have their own themes and story around them. If you want to know more about the story, you can actually check out an interview I did with Phil. I've got 2 interviews on the channel. I've got one from a while ago from when we were doing the Ancient Mystic release. And then we've got a more recent one that just came out very recently about the Crystal Islands Kickstarter. And there is really cool lore around this game about how all these dream universes were created. And look at that, we got another beautiful General. That's awesome. That's got to be one of my favorite cards we've pulled so far. General Hayden with the like max hollow there. He's an assassin character. And yeah, so you can go check out that interview if you want to hear a little bit more about the like lore of Dreambook. But basically, like, you know, you're a weaver. You're the Pokemon trainer, the planeswalker, the caster in this dream world. They call them weavers in this world. And then the creatures or humanoids, these different things that you summon are what are called figments instead of like, Pokemon or cryptids or creatures or whatever. They're figments. And what I really like, look at that Hobgoblin Queen. That's beautiful. I'm going to run out of space on my mat here. I have to put them on they're in their own pile there eventually, I think, as I'm going through these packs. But yeah, so, you are in this world and you're summoning your weaver, you're summoning figments, you're battling other weavers. And there's like a light versus dark, okay, here is something. I think this is our big hit for the box. Look at that. You can see how it's got the full hollow and the lettering is all like rainbow effect. That's different from on the other ones. Look at that shine on that. So that is Seraph of Commandment. Gee, what is that creature? That is crazy. That's the thing about Dreambook I was trying to make a point with is you have such a variety of different kinds of creatures, just wild designs. And it's because the concept allows them to do that. Like with Pokemon, you've got, of course, you got a great variety in Pokemon too, but they're all like these kinds of creatures that have sometimes some influence from real life creatures, like your legendary birds are kind of based on real birds, but they have different elements to them and everything. But in Dreambook, you're dealing with the dream world. So you can do, look at that evil eye. That looks nice right there. That reminds me of Monster Rancher. Remember that like eye creature? That's really cool. But yeah, so when you are in the Dreambook world, you're in the dream world. So literally, in dreams, you have dreams, nightmares, you have crazy stuff going on. That eye was this thing. It was part of the pack art as well. So it's brilliant because you can literally, there's just no limit to the imagination with what you can come up with in Dreambook because it's in the dream world, right? So you have just crazy art styles, right? All different kinds of art styles, like crazy good is what I mean. Like all these artists are their own distinct artists, but they can go together because in dreams you can do that, right? You have all this crazy stuff coming together, crazy designs, just wild stuff, and it's really a lot of fun because there is literally no limit to what you can do with this concept. I like the battle tactics design of the game. So you actually move your cards around like a chess grid. You've got a few different sort of like squares that you can move your cards around, and they literally navigate the space. And then you move your creatures around a little bit. I guess it reminds you a little bit of Sorcery TCG. They're a grid-based game as well. But you can so you move your creatures around, your humanoids, whatever, and you can cast spells, and then there are artifacts. So you have spells or skill cards. You have artifacts like potions and things, or like I guess items you call them too. And then you have your creatures, and it's got a little bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh design influence too. Philip talked about how Yu-Gi-Oh was a sort of an influence or an inspiration for the game as well. And you see that there are in the fact that there are hidden monsters. So that Seraph of Commandment has hidden along the sides. And that means it's like, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's like a deck where you can summon it out of there. It's like a big creature you summon. Here's another hidden, like here's a common or a less rare hidden card. And so you can summon them, and they work a little bit differently than the other cards. So that's pretty cool to know as well. And so the gameplay is good. The art is really good. I like the concept. It would be good to see this game get going a little bit more, I think, and start to really grow its audience more. It's definitely a more niche or indie game. And I think there's a lot of opportunity, too, for IP extensions of this game. If you go watch that interview we did with Phil, it was a great interview. We went over so much stuff about Crystal. Look at that. That's cool. Old Keep. That's an art crypt right there. I like the colors on that one. We talked a lot about Crystal, the Crystal Islands, and some. We talked, spoiled a few cards. He hinted at some things that were to come. There's going to be like an interesting, maybe like figurine that can take the place of your card, like a token kind of. But it's not a token. It's like an actual little mini figure that can take it'd be like a chess piece, taking the place of your card on the field. So that's really cool. That's going to be awesome to see. And I've continued to just enjoy Dreambook. I would say this, just indie or Kickstarter TCGs in general are so fun to keep track of. I know, my videos about indie and Kickstarter TCGs don't do as well as like Pokemon or MetaZoo or these a little bit bigger games. But it's just awesome to see these fresh, different ideas. You don't want to be thinking about and collecting and talking about and playing Pokemon Magic all the time. Those are great games, great to collect and play. But for me, I like to see what other ideas are out there and what people are bringing to the space. Even if they're not the biggest games on earth. I really get a lot of enjoyment out of focusing on and bringing attention to these other games that are out there. And so, I continue to really enjoy what Dreambook is bringing out, the different kinds of things that they're bringing to the table and doing. And, the community, it seems to be growing, and it is a really dedicated community. I mean, we love these cards. You love Dreambook. If you're in a Dreambook, you kind of understand what it is that makes it special. And, I continue to just look forward to what they have in store to bring out in the future. So we might be able to get an art card, because the last time I opened this box on my channel, you can go watch that other channel too. I'll put the interview that we did with Dreambook and that booster box opening on the end screen here, so you can go watch that as well, and browse through that and check out some other things about Dreambook to inform you if you want to get in on this new Kickstarter. I'm going to be backing it. I'm excited to open some crystal islands on the channel when that comes out, and it'd be interesting to see what other kinds of surprises they have in store. So let me know what y'all think about Dreambook down in the comments below. We're getting to our last few packs here. The one other thing that we could pull is this art card. So last time I got, we got that really high tier rarity card, but then there was also like a full art holo card you can get, which I think they're gold signature if I remember correctly. Yeah, the gold signature card. And there are also very limited. Of course, all of the higher tier rarity stuff in Ancient Mystic is super limited because there are only 500 boxes. So we're talking about really low print run, really low supply for these different cards. Now, I forget if I mentioned this in the video. Yeah, they're going to be doing a legacy set. I wanted to make sure I said that too. We got the new set, Crystal Islands, will be similar to this, but all new cards. I don't know what other changes there are going to be in terms of rarity, if anything, or new types of cards. There are full arts that you can get in Dreambook. And then with this new Kickstarter, they're also going to be having a legacy product. So they're bringing back old cards and sort of like new art, revamped kind of forms, and maybe have some chase variants of those kinds of things. You can see some spoilers for that over their Instagram. Whoa, that is beautiful. Check that out. Lunar Skater. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You can get these crazy monsters like the Seraph of Commandment, right? And then you get these like kind of anime-ish, like humanoid kind of characters, or just other kinds of creatures. There's just literally no limits, and that's something that makes Dreambook just so exciting. All right, now one thing too I want to mention. I was saying this game, this IP is really, I think, ripe for media extensions. I'd love to see more of this awesome narrative that Phil is starting to flesh out. We have like a first Weaver. Primrose, you can see that on the Instagram. I'd like to see some Weaver cards, kind of like full art trainers, come into the game. I think that would be really cool. And we talked about in our interview, like what would a Dreambook video game look like? I might just do a video doing some clips from the interview talking about like what we were talking about with the Dreambook video game, what it might look like. Because I'm seeing like a Final Fantasy Tactics kind of like RPG where you're in these different dream planes and moving your creatures around the grid and summoning them like as a weaver, and I think that would be really cool. But Dreambook video game I think would be really cool. I think we could see some Dreambook comic books, mangas, all these different things. I think would be a lot of fun that they could start tapping into, and because you can tell Phil's done a lot of work with the story. He's really passionate about it. He's been thinking about this. He's been working on Dreambook for a while. Dreambook's been here for a while. They continue to bring out new releases and to sell their products, to produce their product, and keep the community going. And that's great to see, because a lot of times these indie Kickstarter TCGs don't stick around, and I'm okay if they don't, because ultimately if an indie or a new TCG comes out and they do one product, and they're like, here's our product, we fulfilled it, have a nice day, that's fine. I've done a couple of TCGs like that, But Dreambook has not been like that. They've been continuing to do this, and they want to do this. And I think if people get behind Dreambook, I think they can make this happen, because Phil wants to make it happen. The artists I'm sure want to make it happen. They're doing an awesome job. They're bringing amazing work to the table. And there's just so much potential in the concept of this game. The gameplay looks fun, and it just is a great TCG concept. I think if another indie or TCG Kickstarter can do it, Dreambook is one of those that really could do it. Hey, let me know what y'all think about Dreambook down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, and I'll be seeing you in another one very soon. Thank you.